thought about it. Going under the knife or the needle to improve our looks is no longer the preserve of Hollywood.
It's not cheap, but it's worth it.
In Britain, we now spend an eye-watering £3.6 billion a year on cosmetic treatments, and it's growing all the time. We've spent the past 9 months inside one of Scotland's most exclusive aesthetic medicine clinics to meet the people who spend their hard-earned cash on Botox, fillers, fat freezes, facelifts and hair transplants, to meet the everyday people fueling this multi-million-pound industry.
I think everyone has some form of insecurity.
I actually hate causing people pain.
I'm thinking 2 hours from now, 2 hours from now. If people knew how it could make you feel, everybody would do it, trust me.
Dr. Darren McEwen is throwing a party for his clients and those thinking about getting something done. For potential patients, it's a chance to talk treatment. For Darren, it's about boosting the profile of his clinic.
As you get older, your eyebrows don't sag, they get higher, okay? Next time you go and visit your gran or your mother in a nursing home, have a look at their eyebrows. So when you use Botox to lift the eyebrows, you're not rejuvenating the face, you're inadvertently aging the face.
At just 34, Darren is at the top of his game, with a clinic in London and a busy practice in Glasgow city centre. Whether you want to look younger, have more hair or just plumper lips, Darren can help. And every month, hundreds of Scots cross his threshold looking to fight the ageing process.
How are you?
Good, do you want to come through?
Yes.
Becoming a cosmetic surgeon was my childhood ambition. It was the thing that I always wanted to do when I was growing up. As a child, I was fascinated by beauty and the concept that you could surgically create beauty. It was one of those sort of kind of odd, weird childhood obsessions. And I think people thought I would grow out of it, but evidently that never happened.
So the ideal female proportions should be the distance between the chin and the nose is 1/3, the height of the nose is 1/3 and the height of the forehead is 1/3.
Oh, really?
After I graduated from medical school, I began the initial training in plastic and reconstructive surgery in the NHS. But as the field of minimally invasive aesthetics continued to grow, and the more and more I became experienced with it and realised what I could achieve without surgery, I decided that that was what I wanted to do long term.
Are you doing it? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, let us know then. Can't feel anything.
It's about the long-term relationship you have with the patient. There's a really important element of psychology in what goes on in cosmetic practice. In fact, 99.9% of it is all about the psychological impact of these treatments. At the end of the day, I'm not doing the treatments to make people look better, I'm doing the treatments to make them feel better. When I'm assessing someone, when someone comes to see me for a consultation, what I'm trying to get around in my head is not, can I make you look better? The real question is, am I going to make you feel better at the end of this?
Oh yeah, I can see a difference. That looks great, Darren. I think that looks amazing.
Worth the pain?
Yeah, but it wasn't really painful.
Dr. Darren's clinic is a family affair. His mum Susan is the office manager and responsible for, well, basically everything.
Most people, they don't realise I'm Darren's mum, and he does call me mum in front of clients. Sometimes clients don't pick it up. He also calls me, we'll go out and see the boss. And clients have been in like 2 or 3 times, and then all of a sudden they go, can't believe you're Darren's mum.
Was Mum not working here the day that you were in for your consultation?
No, it was just Susan, I think.
Oh, that's Mum.
Was it?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
My job involves a bit of everything. I am technically the clinic manager, make sure that Darren's got everything in his room that he needs for working, and also do all the bookings. So just generally everything that goes on in the clinic. Quite willing to take part, even giving my fingers to get squashed.
Who's in charge?
Can I try these ones out in the hall?
Wednesday, in here, Darren is definitely in charge, which is fine, that's all right. You know, he's running a business, so I need to do things that he wants me to do, and that is, he's my boss, it's like any other job. But outside of here, I'm the boss.
Susan's job description includes moral support. The patient coming in today is 63-year-old Senga, who's become a regular face at the clinic, despite being severely needle phobic.
I mean, I've always been terrified of needles, always.
Darren carefully marks where he's going to inject filler.
Specific wrinkles that I think we can soften.
Now, that's about 10, 11 jags you're going to get me into it.
It's probably more than 11.
Oh, Dad.
You'll be fine. You've had more than this before. If you're struggling, we'll stop.
Right, see, it's me started. Right.
No, you're going to be fine. Is that sore? You sure? Don't know if I'm convinced. That's one side done. You can't stop now and have half a young face and half an old face. You're all right. Done.
See, that wasn't bad.
Now, I think you've just cost me a pair of shoes. I think I need to buy my mum a pair of shoes to say thanks for holding your hand.
Oh, I know. Think dear, look dear. Oh, damn, that's great. I've had my neck done. Then I got my eyes done, upper and lower, because they're way down there. And then I've had Botox and fillers. And a wee bit of liposuction there. I think that was to take the fat out from there, but what a difference. I mean, my chin was out. But, I mean, what a difference.
How much do you think you've spent?
I think I've spent about between 13 and 15,000. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. You've got more confidence. You can look at people straight in the eye and talk to them. Whereas before, I was sort of covering my mouth when I spoke because of my chin and that. But no, I'll talk to him now face to face. All I'll get now is maybe a wee bit Botox and a wee bit filler. That's all I need. No more surgery. Then again, never say never. Not me. Never say never, Senga.
Senga's fear of needles is a bit extreme. For most, a few Botox or filler injections are no big deal. But Darren also offers much more invasive procedures, such as a revolutionary new kind of facelift. 50-year-old Liz is on the verge of taking the plunge.
When I take my face back slightly, like this, I can see the girl that I once was. Dan said to me that there is a procedure that can actually just lift, tighten this slightly, and you can see it's so much more defined. And that's the way I want to look. I don't see it as vanity. I actually see it as basically trying to preserve what I've got. Years ago, they say that Marlene Dietrich used to put tape behind her ears, and that she used to wear her hair down over her ears so that no one could see it. So really, if you think of that, since time began, women have been doing that, but that was only offered to the rich and famous, and not like a housewife, a working class woman from Blantyre, so to speak. So things have changed a lot.
Come in, have a wee seat.
Just watch.
Okay.
If I put my face down,
Yep.
can you see the way that all falls?
Yep.
And I don't want it to fall.
Yep.
That feels better already.
I can just walk around like
Absolutely, just hold my face up.
Okay, there's now a reasonable amount of loose skin, okay? And that's what's causing the sagging appearance that you've got down here. I think we're at the stage now here where there's not a great deal that we can do that's going to have a meaningful impact non-surgically. We need to do something a little bit more invasive to get you the kind of result that I think we both want. There is going to be scarring, that's going to be something that's here for the rest of your life, but it's going to be done in such a way that it's so inconspicuous that in day-to-day life no one's ever going to see that.
That sounds amazing.
In an under-regulated industry with the easy availability of Botox and filler and an increasingly relaxed attitude to using them, there's been a real rise in the number of poorly executed procedures. Lynn, who's in her 40s, has had multiple rounds of filler injected into her face. But the fillers have filled Lynn with, if not dread, then disappointment. The end result isn't what she'd hoped for, and she's come to see Darren in the hope that he can reverse the treatments she got elsewhere.
When I look in the mirror, I don't see myself as being the age that I am. So when I look in the mirror, I think, oh my God, like you can really see the creases and the lines, and it kind of, I just want to change all that and look a bit younger.
She's had problems with too much filler being injected, the treatment's been repeated too frequently, and the filler's all been placed in the wrong position for her face. It's actually created a very bottom-heavy appearance, which is dragging down and making her look inadvertently older, rather than the real objective of these treatments, which is to make them look younger. So I'm injecting an enzyme. The idea is that this material is going to break down any filler that's in here, and I can actually feel it softening already, which is encouraging.
Fixing Lynn's face will involve many visits to the clinic. Once the existing filler has been dissolved, Darren starts to add his own. The final stage will be a painful chemical peel to renew her damaged skin.
When I obviously first started getting treatments, you're trusting the practitioner because obviously they're the one that's trained to do it, so you can expect them to give you proper advice and give you appropriate treatments. So you're sort of taking the lead from them, and I think it's probably that naivety that I had, and maybe their naivety as well, that they weren't sort of doing what really should have been done at the time.
Do you feel better now? You can start to see?
Yes, I feel much better now that I've got cheekbones.
Despite his success in this field, Darren is no stranger to procedures which haven't turned out as hoped.
I was 17 when I went to medical school, and I was 18 when I had my first rhinoplasty, which is an operation to change the shape and size of the nose. I regretted it as soon as the plastic came off and there was just this really small, narrow nose down the middle of my face, which instantly just looked far too small for the rest of my face and completely out of keeping with the rest of my features. I remember just thinking, oh gosh, if I would have given anything at that minute in time to go back and undo it. A year after that, I then had a permanent implant inserted in my top lip, and a couple of years later I had some fat taken from my tummy and injected into my cheeks and face. That's probably the biggest regret that I've got now, is that I did things very early on at a stage where I didn't really need it, and I'm now very conscious of the fact that it doesn't look natural all these years down the line, and I'm really paranoid about it because I'm sitting in consultations with patients almost preaching to them about the natural look and saying, no, please don't do this, this is going to look unnatural, let's do this, let's avoid that because it might not look right. And I'm sure that some of them must be sitting there looking, thinking, but hang on a minute, look at your face, that's not really... And it's a difficult situation to deal with. I think that really influences my approach to the way that I manage my own patients, especially the younger ones. I see a lot of people who come to me and I can see characteristics of myself 20 years ago in them. And I know that if they jump on the bandwagon, get involved in cosmetic procedures too soon, that they are eventually, they will live to regret it.
The patient in today is a 23-year-old student who's made an appointment at the clinic to talk about getting some Botox.
I think it's becoming increasingly more and more popular. People are more influenced by what's in the media and want to look good, achieve a certain look. I think this is one of the ways to do it.
Are you worried about looking old? Are you worried about ageing?
Yeah, worried about the ageing process, but sort of quite a lot of fine lines, wrinkles around the eyes, and I've got a bit of asymmetry to my face as well, so the eye feels noticeable.
Where do you see the asymmetry?
Sort of in the eye, the eyebrow, and then going down to the eyelid.
Okay. The whole brow on this side sits probably in the region of about 0.5 millimetre lower than that side, okay? The differences between both sides though are so simple that I think the best way of dealing with that is in the way you pluck your eyebrows. Trying to achieve that degree of change with an injectable, you know, 0.5 millimetre changes, they're not necessarily achievable. Give me a big smile again, please. So that's you on maximum smiling, and I would grade them as grade 1 out of 5. And you've got literally nothing at all when your face is at rest. So I wouldn't really recommend any treatment around there just yet. And actually, from having a look at the condition of your skin just now, I don't think you're going to be ready for a treatment like Botox for at least another 10 years.
Oh, right.
All right.
If I don't need it, I don't need it. He said that I've got great skin. I think that's a bit of a boost to me. To know that my skin's in good condition and it's going to be in good condition for a long time is a really nice thing to hear.
Cosmetic practice is all psychology to me. It's nothing to do with the way the patient looks. The primary outcome is how the patient feels about themselves. I want to, you know, not just make people happy for right now, but I also want to help them to make decisions that I think are going to also keep them happy long term into the future. And one of the big concerns that I have is that a lot of the young girls who are doing things to their face right now, they see short-term benefits, but they're really going to regret it when they get 10, 15 years down the line.
This goes for men too. Graham has popped into the clinic for a checkup on a hair transplant he's recently undergone there. But he's had a lot of other work done elsewhere and is happy with a more extreme look.
Quite a few times I've been into Darren and he said that's far too much or don't do this, and he also wouldn't do that to me, but a lot of it I think if it was real proper surgery then yeah I would definitely listen to him, but when it's fillers and things like that maybe I just want a wee bit larger than he would do, then I just think well they can be dissolved if they're really really bad I guess.
But this is the mistake that he makes. Most people who come to see me, they want to blend in. They want to look good for themselves, but they want to blend in. Graham quite likes having things that make him stand out with the lips and the cheeks.
I would just think that it's, I don't really know, I would say maybe not to look like I've had work done, but I actually don't think it does. But I guess it's because it's over time a filler being built up that you just get used to looking at something and think that I don't know, you're used to it, so you just want more added in and think it might look better, and just maybe becomes too extreme for some people.
Do you think you lose objectivity?
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
35-year-old Bob is also in to see Darren about a hair transplant. He sings in a band and is worried he'll lose his mojo along with his locks.
It kind of affects my confidence, makes me a bit nervous at times, of people looking at my hairline. And also just the kind of culture nowadays, you know, that folk are doing things about their appearance, you know, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that as such.
How much hair you can have up here depends on how much spare you've got at the back. Okay. The density of the hair at the back of your head, I would say, is about average. Possibly a little bit below average, okay, so you've not got massive amounts of hair that we can borrow from, okay?
Right, okay.
So any hair restoration procedure is never going to give you a full head of hair, okay? You've got an option of either having a sort of thin scattering at the front and the back, or if you would prefer, and it would probably be my recommendation, to focus more on the front of the head.
It's a long procedure. We normally start about 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and we rarely finish before 6 or 7 o'clock at night. Okay, so you can be here for nearly 12 hours. Bruising, swelling, itching, all these things are normal. It's not a pleasant experience, and by the end of the day, most people are thinking, dear God, why have I done this to myself? Does it sound terrifying?
I have to be honest, a wee bit of, some of it does sound a wee bit kind of, concerning.
But the reality is that when you do this, you've done it and there's no going back, so you need to know the absolute cold hard facts, and before you decide that you want to do it, you have to be 100% certain.
Darren speaks from experience. He had his own hair transplant when he was in his 20s. A hair transplant is one of the most physically demanding procedures Darren carries out. It can take up to 12 hours and costs around £6,000.
That's a wee tiny bit disheartening, that I'm not going to get, complete coverage. And
what about the day itself?
Yeah, it sounds quite long and quite, that's probably the kind of worst thing about it. I'm going to have to kind of have a good think about that, about whether I'm willing to put myself through that.
I'm not actually doing this. For patients new to the clinic, it can be a daunting first step. It took Botox virgin Susan, who's in her late 40s, years to pluck up the courage to call Dr. Darren.
Here.
Yep.
Here.
Yep.
And this here is really annoying me.
Yeah.
Because I'm 47 now and this here's going this way.
Yep.
Give me a big frown again.
For Susan, it's a whole new world, and a slightly alarming one.
It's a lot of dots.
No, it's not. Botox is one example of a new class of drugs. And it was initially designed by ophthalmic surgeons who specialised in treating squint. And one of the side effects that they noticed from it was that when they were injecting this drug into the muscles inside the eye, that the wrinkles around the eye started disappearing. And the rest is history. Done. What did you think?
Nothing like what I thought it was going to be. A wee bit tender around the eye. I'm too busy thinking about the next bit.
No, don't be.
You worried?
Yeah.
Filler, I guess, is a bit like polyfiller, except instead of filling out holes in the wall, you fill out holes in the face. That's you done. No going back.
It was much better than what I thought it was going to be, but it's just the whole unknown. This is like my face. I'm just a trusting his expertise and everything, that he knows what he's doing. So.
As long as we've communicated clearly that she wanted the Katie Price look before that.
It's amazing. I'm actually quite shocked just how quickly.
Yep.
And this here.
Yep.
You want to still have a bit of what time has gave you, I suppose, a wee bit, but I'm shocked, absolutely shocked that that's as flat.
The desire to look good is big business, and Darren wants to expand from the surgery into the supermarket. He's in London for meetings about a new skincare range he's developing. It's something he actually hopes will encourage people to get less Botox.
So, the great thing about the brand is, with a word like stop for the name, we've had the advantage of being able to be really quite single-minded and quite bold with the way that we've worked with it, and to create this kind of almost call to action approach on the plan.
Yeah, the key thing behind the word stop is I want people to stop doing unnecessary procedures. If you're having a bad hair day, the answer is not an injection of Botox. You need to stop that.
Yeah, I'm so pleased that we've got that colour happening on our pack.
It had to happen somewhere.
Brilliant.
It did have to happen somewhere. I kind of almost wanted the whole pack of that colour, but actually I'll put up with the band.
I think the band is really classy.
This is my sightline, but it's all relevant. I think Botox has become a status symbol. There is a section of the population out there who don't want Botox to look natural, they want Botox to look like they've had Botox. It's almost like wearing a t-shirt that says Dolce & Gabbana across the front.
you're saying, look, I paid this money, I paid a fortune for a t-shirt that I could have got for a quarter of the price somewhere else, but look, I got the expensive one that's got the expensive brand on it.
All the beautiful people, they did some work on your face.
Darren has been offered a slot on shopping channel QVC to launch his skincare product. Before they sign the deal, though, he has to do a screen test. Something he feels is a little out of his comfort zone.
I am quite anxious about how it's going to come across. I don't want to be here doing something that's going to compromise me professionally. You know, I don't want to sit in here looking like some sort of used car salesman.
You know, it'd be good to see the texture of the cream, putting it on the back of your hand, and just showing us how it sinks into the skin. When you do that, just holding your hand nice and steady for the camera.
All skin types. Great. Joining me now is a guy that I've really enjoyed talking to, and I know you're going to really enjoy hearing from. It's Dr. Darren McKeown. How are you, sir?
Hi, nice to meet you today, Mike. It's got a lovely smooth texture.
It's smooth, soft, evened out. I'm going to be getting myself some of this, I have to say. I'm 44 this week, and you know all the signs are there. So I think this is over 34. You're a very kind man. Listen, if you want to get yours, make sure you're trying it today under that 30-day money-back guarantee.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
How was that?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yes.
What did you think? That was the most important.
Okay.
He's hedging his bet there.
What did you think? I think you might have been a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
A little bit, and I'm not surprised because you've never done this before.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different world. I love you. I love your personality. I think we might need to just relax a little bit, just kind of relax those shoulders.
Yeah.
Most definitely you've passed to go on air.
Okay.
So that's for sure. I think we could do a little bit of work. But you know something you didn't do?
What?
You didn't pick it up once.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really nice to have met you. And I'll be seeing you again.
By the time we come back for the next one, I'll have a new face. I felt a bit like a rabbit caught in the headlights. The job that they want me to do is to big myself up and big up my product, which is not something that, you know, naturally, it's not something that I guess you're really taught growing up, or you're not really taught to do that growing up in the west of Scotland. You're more taught to be self-deprecating, so it's kind of almost going against what's been ingrained in me since childhood.
Back in Glasgow and back to the day job. Darren is trialling a new skin tightening machine. He needs someone to test it on. And who better than his mum? The machine works by creating a series of wounds under the skin. This triggers a healing response in the skin. The theory is sound, but Darren wants to make sure it won't be too painful a process for his patients.
Do you often put seasons of test of things down?
Everything.
It's all in the name of duty.
Yeah. All in the name of beauty.
It's all very well looking at clinical studies that appear to show that things work, but actually testing it on someone who's actually representative of the women that are coming through the door is invaluable. How was that?
Okay, it's alright.
I'm watching your toes.
How are you?
Because when the toes start to curl, that's when I know you're lying.
Darren has known many of his patients for years. Christine is a retired dance teacher and model. She reckons she was the first person in Scotland to get Botox back in the 80s.
I did this for the newspapers when they started doing Botox in Scotland. So this was the gentleman putting the needle in. Actually, they put it in the wrong place and I had a wee droopy eye for a wee while. I left school at 15 and I didn't have any O levels, and the headmaster said that all I was good at was putting my lipstick on. And then I opened up my business when I was 16 and it was really successful. I gave up 3 years ago and that was 45 years I had done of the school. But it was just great. You met so many fantastic people. I just loved it all. It was a great time. And I won Scotland's Seaside Queen, and I was a Royal Navy pin-up and used to meet me off the train with the Guard of Honour and all this thing. But I don't look back and think, oh, I wish I looked like that again. I'm fine. The only thing I would really like to have done is something to do with the lines in my hands. I would love that because I think that's quite an ageing thing. When people see somebody older, the hands are quite a telltale, and that can be filled in so that it would be more plumped up.
It's intention to look as young looking as possible?
Yeah, I think as young as possible without overdoing it. It needs to be quite subtle. And then people, I mean, I always add a few years on to my age, and people go, God, you look great for that age. Like I say, I'm not bad for 80. Nice to see you. Thank you.
This sore? Really sore, or just a wee bit?
Just a wee bit.
Okay.
That's just one bit.
I hope not.
That looks great already, actually.
It does. So if you look at that hand and compare it to that one, it just looks a little bit more plump.
It does.
Well, I think we've taken 5 years off your hands, I have to say.
Thank you very much.
The people who come here, we get to see them on a regular basis over a long period of time. So they become, they almost become your friends.
That's it, yeah.
So it is a little bit more relaxed, and I guess what we're doing here, you know, we're not in a normal doctor's surgery where you're giving people bad news. We're doing something that's positive, that's having a positive impact in people's life.
As cosmetic surgery becomes more and more common, couples are increasingly visiting the clinic together. Husband and wife Jonathan and Dawn are the latest couple to consult Darren to go under the needle together.
Jonathan's rather squeamish,
Yeah.
so he won't look at this.
Do you know what? It's normally the husbands or the boyfriends that end up fainting. No one ever faints on the table, it's always the man that's over in the corner.
Well, Jonathan, look away.
The key thing with a man's face is that less is always more. Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's got to look natural.
I shall see you on Sunday.
Dawn runs a dog grooming business from home, and Susan isn't the only female in the McEwen household who likes to look after herself. Meet Maisie, Darren's dog.
Oh, you don't look so cute now, Maisie. No.
Why do you do it?
Vanity. Purely for vanity. It makes me feel good. If I think I'm looking good, I feel good. Definitely gives me a confidence. It's getting more and more popular, and it just seems to me that's the way it's heading. It'll just be the norm that everybody goes and gets Botox, fillers, a little bit of light surgery. I don't mind people knowing that I've had work done. It's defensive, and you kind of want people to know that you're spending this money to upkeep your looks. I think what's happening now is parents are doing it, the children are seeing the parents doing it, the children are then they're going to follow suit. Once do it, so it's just going to be popping out for your groceries and popping and getting my Botox done.
Opinion is divided, however, when it comes to Dawn and Jonathan's sons, who have different views about whether these treatments are a good idea.
The pressure from magazines, TV, celebrities, all that, saying that you, in a way, saying that you have to look young, you have to look beautiful, you have to look not you. Eventually, you get to a stage that you have to do it.
I don't think that it's really being dishonest to yourself. I think it's you're just doing everything you can to keep yourself feeling happy and better and making yourself appear nicer to everyone else. I don't think that's dishonest. I think it's what everyone wants.
What kind of consultation are you looking for?
I'm just going to start by the most painful part.
Removing my makeup.
You don't look like a farmer.
I know.
No, my husband's away just now, so he's not back until Thursday. I've not even told him I'm coming here.
Oh my goodness. I can hear your toes curling in your shoes.
You can, I know. It's an aging process, and if we can hold it back a little bit, then, you know, it's worth it for me, and I'm quite happy to do it. No embarrassment about it whatsoever.
The machine takes lump of tissue
into the chamber and freezes everything down to -10 degrees. Your skin can survive, but the fat cells can't.
Quite a few. You've not to say no.
The big deep line's not as deep as it used to be.
No, it's not.
I probably fill about half a dozen lower eyelids a day. It shouldn't be satisfying, but it kind of is. It's like squeezing a big spot. The ideal male face, the width of the jaw should be about the same width as the cheekbone.
You just want to look as young as possible. That's the bottom line. I don't think anybody realistically, if they're true to themselves, want to get old.
You don't want to look like everybody else that walks out my door. You want to walk out looking like you.
Just enhance.
Right, I'm going to move him. That's us done. As easy as that.
I'll probably do it forever now. It's like a drug, isn't it? Once you feel good, you know, why not?
My Facebook yesterday went mental.
With?
Because I put like a before and after picture.
Oh, did you
Honest God, I had about 80 messages. Over my lunch, I just had to sit and answer everybody.
This is the most painful bit.
Brilliant.
Yeah, lovely.
With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Liz arrives for the day of her facelift. It will take 3 hours and cost $5,500.
We go through our life's journey, and you're somebody's wife, you're somebody's daughter, you're somebody's mother, and you tend always to be doing stuff for the main people that's in your family to keep your family unit safe and good, and I want that and I want that and I want that. This time I'm actually just doing it for me. My daughter is absolutely against it. She said to me, I don't know why you're doing this. I don't think you need to get it done, and I can't believe that you're actually going to get this done. And I think that's her being totally, brutally honest, and I admire her for that. However, at 28, I probably thought as well, oh, I would never get that done.
These procedures are carried out by Darren's colleague, surgeon Amir Nakjivani. Amir has pioneered a new technique that lets him perform the procedure under local anaesthetic. The advantage is that as Liz is awake throughout, it drastically reduces downtime. The downside is that, well, Liz is awake throughout. It's a slightly surreal procedure, but Liz seems to be bearing up well.
Right now I'm speaking to Angel Raffaelli because he is the healing angel. I'm saying, make this happen very quickly. Oh, mamma mia.
What's your mind at the moment, Liz?
I'm actually having a conversation in my brain, and I'm thinking 2 hours from now, 2 hours from now.
It's a good chat.
Yes.
It'll be over with, it'll be over with.
So this bit is the muscle layer that we're going to tighten, and you can see what it does to the jawline. It is a surgical procedure by all means. This is not a non-surgical technique, and people need to be aware of that, because with any surgery there are risks. But what it does do is it makes the downtime a lot less, so that people can get on with their lives, and you know, they have work commitments, social commitments, and all those things. It's not acceptable for them to be away for 4 weeks or 6 weeks. So you can see Liz now feels a lot lighter.
Our little thing here is depending on how much comes off, depending on how well Maisie's fed tonight. Yep, that's done.
You're looking 12 years old yet? I would say you're about 15 from here. Amir, you need to pull a bit tighter.
What do you think is going to out of it?
I just want to look fresher. You know, I'm 50. I've got a daughter at 20. It's not as though I'm trying to peel away the years, because do you know something, it is what it is. I just want to look a wee bit fresher.
Everybody wants to look their best, and they feel that, I still have a lot to give and I want to enjoy life. And something like this makes that quite possible. And people who don't understand about plastic surgery, they think it's all about vanity. And it's about just, getting on with your life. And, if it doesn't affect you, you don't need to have it done. This is what people want, it's not what they need. You're done.
I'm done.
You're done.
See, now you're going to have a sigh of relief. Ready?
Yep.
So you've got to see past the swelling.
Okay. Thank you. Oh my God, what a difference. That's totally away. I don't have that.
Back to your normal routine.
I'm sweating. Even though you have to do it a couple of times. I love it. Thank you so much. I don't have those pouches anymore.
Have you got the
They're away.
Oh, you did so well.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
The result? Yeah, really good. She seems really happy, which is the most important thing. That's what makes it all worth it.
Makeup artist and beauty writer Craig has known Darren and Susan for years.
Nice, thank you very much. Trying hard, yeah, personal trainer. It'd be kind of nice if I had, you know what I'm going to say?
I do know what you're going to say.
Slightly more volume in my lip. But that's, how long's that been since I've had that done?
It's been a while, but it doesn't, the chronological time doesn't matter. What matters is how much filler is still left in there. Perfect.
Is it? Right, okay.
It is perfect.
For me, this is just like going to the dentist or going to get a manicure or whatever. It's just part and parcel of your beauty routine.
Right, some people might think it's vanity.
Some people may think it's vanity, but a haircut's vanity. Buying a pair of shoes is a necessity, but if it's a nice loafer, it's vanity. Your car's vanity, your home's vanity. There's a very fine line between necessity and vanity, and for me, this is both. It's who I am. It contributes to what I do. It gives me confidence to do what I do. It's such a personal thing, and you cannot put it in a box.
That's all done, dear.
That was done.
All
Fantastic.
Done. Another 5 years off.
Bring on Ibiza.
Darren has decided that being a TV presenter isn't for him and has enlisted his friend to help out.
Craig is one of my patients who's been coming to me for a few years. I think he would be better suited to doing the bits that I'm maybe not so comfortable with.
Yeah, it's a universal product, and it's just getting that to come across.
I think a lot of people are still quite snotty about QVC, thinking, who buys from TV shopping channels, but the reality is that lots of people do. And it's a really good way of launching a product, and I'm fortunate that I've got the opportunity to do that. So somehow, some way, I just need to work out how to make it work in a way that I feel comfortable with, in a way that delivers the results that both me and QVC want to do, but in a way that's not going to compromise me or make me feel really awkward about what I'm doing.
It's launch day at the QVC studios.
Sure you're alright?
Yeah, I'm fine, alright.
You're doing so well. No pressure, but you've got to make me a millionaire in the next 8 minutes.
In 8 minutes? Get out to 10. Can you hear it okay? Yeah, I can hear what's happening, yeah.
While Craig sweats about his performance, Darren is firmly focused on the sales figures, which are fed through to the green room in real time.
The sales look awful for the hour. Awful.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here on QVC, we love to welcome a new face, a new brand, a new product, and we are really excited. Here are the details on this for you right away. We have the UK launch, if not the worldwide launch on this.
You get this smooth, even canvas that reflects the light, so you've got a brighter, more radiant and even skin tone.
Dear God, look at those numbers. Come on, come on, look.
Okay, we are now limited stock on the current stock that we have. This is selling so quickly.
Look at the...
That is about to... No, it's not about to sell out. It has sold out.
That's it.
Amazing! Let's take over the barrel. I've got a couple in my bag, so it's... Ship them, ship them.
Oh, I've been wondering you might see the text. The phone's not stopped. Text. I'm so proud and happy for you, darling.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, she said she recorded it as well.
I didn't realise I will be watching it 10 times before bed tonight.
Her and your dad going crazy.
Your poor mother. She been on yet?
She's messaged. She's Facebook. You know how she's a Facebook fan now. She's probably going to send some emojis. That'll be the next thing.
Bob has decided to go ahead with the hair transplant.
Right, sir, that's us ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready as I'll ever be.
It's probably going to feel like you're wearing a helmet. It feels like your head's 10 times the size.
Yeah.
Kinda is.
If Botox is a sprint, this is a marathon. A grueling 12-hour procedure lies ahead, all performed under local anaesthetic. A strip of donor hair is removed from the back of the head and cut up into individual transplants which are painstakingly inserted into thousands of holes at the front of the head. It's physically and emotionally draining for Bob.
Hopefully not. But it can happen. Happened to me. I looked an absolute fright after mine. Absolutely hated it. Said it was the worst thing in the world why I've ever done this to myself. And at the time would have given anything to be able to undo it. But actually, now it was by far and away the best thing I've ever done. We're supposed to, or we have traditionally been supposed to just accept baldness as it happens. We're not supposed to care about it. But we do. I remember being in the pub one night before I had the transplant, and I was washing my hands at the sink, and this random stranger who I never knew looked at me, shook his head and said, "Mate, just shave it off." And I was supposed to laugh it off. I could have actually poked his eyes out.
While Darren makes thousands of incisions into Bob's scalp, his team of technicians cut up the follicles harvested from the back of his head. It's a race against time, as the sooner they're transplanted, the greater the chances of success.
I think everyone has some form of insecurity, you know, or something that makes them a bit nervous or a bit kind of, you know, and that is mine. It's kind of appearing, you know, to have this kind of, to be going bald, you know what I mean, at a young age, you know. I mean, I'm 35 years old. Some people may see that as young, some people may not, but yeah, I still see myself as young. I don't want to look old, you know.
It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and so far we've got in about 800 of the 2,400 grafts that are going in. So we've probably got another 2, maybe 3 hours to go. So hopefully we'll be finished by about 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. He's doing really well in terms of pain. His pain management's been fine. He's just getting to that stage now where he's really knackered, and you can see that he's really knackered just by looking at him. He's just generally sore all over from sitting in the same position.
So far, the procedure has taken 7 long hours, and it's still not over.
Oh. I thought of another 2 hours of this.
I always feel terrible when we get to this stage because I know exactly what it feels like.
It's kind of like if you're running a marathon and you kind of hit the wall, if you know what I mean. That's kind of what it feels like to me. I've kind of hit a wee bit of a wall at the moment, but I'm all right. I'll be fine. But the thought of sitting back down to lying back down like that again for another about 2 hours or something was not appealing.
Sure that all the graphs are sitting in the right direction, and then clean up, and you can go home.
You're just glad it's over, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel?
All right, fine.
Come back and do it all again tomorrow.
Lynn is back in for the next stage of her restoration project, a painful chemical peel to renew skin damaged by excessive sunbed use when she was in her 20s.
You've got quite a few fine lines and you've got a loss of elasticity in the skin and some uneven pigmentation, and all of that is absolutely classic sun damage. It's not much fun, and there's no point in trying to sugarcoat it. She's probably going to spend the next couple of days thinking, what the hell have I done to myself? But I am fairly confident that in 2 weeks' time, when it's peeled off and she's looking at the nice fresh skin, that she will actually be happy with it. So, a necessary evil.
Yep.
All because of the demon sunbeds.
Yes.
We see quite a lot of sun damage in Glasgow, which is ironic considering that we very rarely see any sun. But it is purely the effect of the sunbed culture that we have. We're using an acid to remove some of the outer layers of the skin so that when the skin heals, it heals in a more youthful condition than when it started.
It's tough going as the acid burns through the layers of Lynn's skin.
How are you feeling? Sure?
Quite horrendous, but it's manageable.
What's that?
I said it's quite horrendous, but it's manageable.
Okay.
I actually hate causing people pain. And I know how important it is to them as well. You know, we tend to make it all a bit fun and light, but actually there's a reason that we're putting acid on her face and putting her through this pretty horrific process. It's because there is genuinely something that does upset her about her appearance, and I want to fix that for her.
Is it really blue?
The acid is mixed with a special blue dye that lets Darren see how well it's working. It will fade in the next 24 hours, but the downside is that she leaves the clinic looking like an extra from the next Smurfs movie.
3, 2, 1.
I need to put my calendar. Oh, you never said it'd be that blue.
I'm going to give you...
Yes, all cap the mask.
It will fade, I promise.
No, I think there's a couple staring over there.
What are you planning tonight?
I think staying in, not answering the door.
Craig, following his success as QVC's newest star, is back in the clinic. He's getting excess skin from his eyelids removed.
How are you feeling?
A wee bit nervous. I've got a severe overhang, always have.
It's not that severe.
It is.
He's got a tiny little bit of excess, but it bothers him, and well, you can tell him what he said to me. He hated it when he saw it on QVC.
Yeah, when I saw myself on camera, there was a side shot, and that's when it became really, really obvious that I had to do something about it.
It wasn't that bad.
When your eyes are closed, as you can see, there's quite a lot of skin.
Yeah, you get a lot more stuff than I do. You know, like a lot more than I am.
I think I'm persistent.
I get told no.
How am I looking?
Great.
Beautiful.
My mum has never noticed, and she's known me for nearly 38 years, My mum has never noticed my lips, she's never noticed my chin, she's never noticed my jawline. She knows I have Botox and she always says my skin looks great and it's dead smooth. My dad's a wee bit horrified. He kind of thinks, why are you playing with your face? He just thinks his sons look great the way they are. He loves us for who we are. But the thing is, he's never noticed. He'll know now.
Actually, quite a few follicles that are all starting to come through. Almost an inch worth of growth in some of the earliest ones that have come in. This is still very early days, but it's really good progress for where we are.
I think that just in these last couple of years, since you've had football players going through this procedure, that, you know, even your kind of more West of Scotland men and even your more kind of laddie, kind of beer drinking guys have kind of taken to the idea that, you know, that it's acceptable to have a hair transplant. I'm not saying that I would be one of those people now that would be going and getting plastic surgery or any of that kind of stuff. It's not, you know, I wouldn't say that would be me. I wouldn't say that the people that do go for that kind of thing either. You know, I don't have any criticism of them. I think if you want to improve yourself and we have the technology and the means to be able to improve ourselves and how we look, you know, I don't see a problem with that.
It's the world we live in. The world's a fast-moving place where everything's available to everybody, whereas before it was just the certain few that get through that opening in the doors. And it's really nice that somebody like a normal woman like me that just, you know, sells cars as a mum can come and be with professional people that will not change you, will just make you a wee bit softer, a wee bit happier. So I always like coming here.
Prozac and a needle.
Exactly. Exactly.
Obviously, since starting the treatment with Darren, the most prominent thing is probably my cheekbones are obviously much higher, and the bags under my eyes are obviously have lessened just due to my tear duct troughs being filled as well. My skin at the moment is still not great, but it's obviously well improved once the chemical peel has completely taken effect. Once that's back to normal, and obviously once I've got makeup on, I think I would feel more like myself, like, you know, what I think I'm going to look like when you look in the mirror. I think everyone's always kind of seeking for perfection, so you know, unless you are realistic, you would kind of keep chasing that dream of perfection and it might never be there.
The definition in your jawline looks amazing. We've just got rid of those little jowly bits here that you used to have, and the contour in your neck is much smoother. So we look at the scars, and the scars are healing beautifully.
Going back 30, 40, 50 years ago, women did live in a different society to what we live in now. However, I think women now make their own choices, they make their own money, they can spend their own money how they see fit. And if that then makes that woman feel better about herself, why not? We can send men to the moon, so why can't I get rid of my jowls?
I'm not really bothered with people think I did this for me, and you know, probably my son and my family got a better version of me than they was there for a few years ago, and I know that sounds really